Hello, everyone. Justin, is that you or is it Mustafa?
It's me, it's Nakaya.
Oh, wrong guess. Hi. Hi, Kai.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, good. I believe Sean might not make it or might be a bit late to the party. Um, so we can kick it off whenever you are ready.
Okay, just give me 2 seconds.
Sure. Hi, Sol. I don't know, maybe until we get started, if anyone wants to come up and say hi or even just where you're listening from, just to get the conversation going, that would be great.
Hey guys, I'm Manny B Investing. I have the YouTube channel I cover here. Updates and things of interest on my YouTube channel. I'm in the United States, so very interested in the project, and so I've just been keeping it with what you guys have going on.
Hi, Manny. Pleasure to see you and hear from you again. And glad you joined our AMA.
Happy to be here.
Okay, Chris, let's get started here. So, I'm not sure how you kind of want to get started. Maybe we can chat a little bit about Q1, just kind of what we've gone through so far, and then maybe talk a little bit about Q2. Is that how we want to get started?
Yeah, that sounds good. I have the public roadmap open in front of me, so maybe I'll just go over the bullets and make some comments if that works for everyone.
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's get started.
And then at any point, anyone who has any question, feel free to chime in and uh, make your questions. So we have Ledger Nano hardware wallet support. Yeah, we actually implemented that. It's been a month or so that both Ledger and Trezor are in production. Um, I believe so far so good. There was a small bug in the first release that we addressed, and the next step now for both Ledger and Nano is to allow users to either create or view accounts that are below the zero level, like account on level 1 or 2. And this is something that we're going to implement globally throughout the wallet, not just for the hardware wallets. Hey, Sean. The second item we have here is creation of Giro Cardano native token. We have created the token. We just haven't actually used it yet. Hi, Sean. No worries. You just made it on time. Basically, I'm going through the public roadmap and one by one the items, making some comments, and we can either discuss them together, or if anyone has any questions, we can also address those.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, the next two bullets have to do with the token staking, Giro token staking, and DEX liquidity. So token staking relies on smart contract, which we have audited with Tweak. And after the Tweak came back to us with some improvement recommendations regarding improvement of the smart contract, we decided to implement those. Labs is currently implementing those changes, and the next steps are to re-audit the smart contract one more time, because we introduced changes to the contract. Then we will deploy on testnet for a week or two, just to experiment and test around the UI, the integration, and make sure that everything works good. And then we will be able to go to mainnet. So this probably will happen in the next 2 weeks. And I see this as an item that will get accomplished in Q2.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, I agree. I guess I want to add that we'll still have to build the UI for the staking as well. But in the meantime, there is the ADAX staking for anybody that's using the ERC20 token.
yeah, that is correct. The ATAX was a good middle. It is a good middle-term solution until we have the native staking enabled. Now, when it comes to Cardano DEX liquidity and basically a bridge from Ethereum to Cardano, I am still positive that we're gonna make it in the 2 weeks that are remaining. The bridge is currently in its final stages. The UI is ready. Some endpoints have been implemented. There is plenty of work to it, but it's in progress, and we're also chiming in with the workload just to speed up things. And so I do believe we're gonna make it in 2 weeks and have the bridge ready, and thus provide liquidity to dexes like Sunday Swap or Mint Swap, Musli Swap, and etc.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Excited to finally bridge over, and it still looks like it's going to happen within this month.
Okay, then we have governance and DAO, and well, governance and DAO is hand in hand with token staking. It's part of the same smart contract, so this item is inevitably going to happen in Q2. We did support ADA handle with the 196 version last week. So we did achieve that milestone. Regarding in-wallet token swap, that is not ready yet, and it's not entirely up to us. We are waiting for the big dexes to provide some API endpoints or SDK that we can use natively within the wallet. and call their backend system so we can perform the swaps. From the conversations we have with them, this is probably something that's going to happen in Q2 or Q3, depending on their workload as well.
Yep, I agree there as well. I guess one thing that I was wanting to note on with the staking when the smart contracts are finished with the auditing, what we've learned is that we can also do NFT staking. But since we're residing in America right now, there are some legal challenges to get over, but we are working on that. And so we are still looking forward to do NFT staking. We just want to make sure that we get everything sorted out before we commit to it publicly.
That is absolutely correct. And thanks for chiming in, Sean. Okay, so the last two items on the roadmap is Android and iOS beta. With the information we have today, we probably not gonna make it in the 2 weeks that are remaining this month to complete the first quarter. I will say though that both Android and iOS are in very good shape. They're being developed. We are quite close to actually having the beta version out. But before we can take the applications in production, we have to do two things. A is like do beta testing with ourselves and anyone who is interested from the public to join this effort. And two is to perform a security audit and a pen test on these applications. Because that's the proper way of doing things. And every time we want to make sure that we take all precautions and follow the best practices when it comes to security. And so with that in mind, I think that both versions will be delayed by a month or so until they are available to the public.
Yeah, I think with the end of March in sight, for sure, it doesn't look like we're going to make it. I do want to say that we could absolutely already have these apps out, but we want to do it properly. We want it to be very professional and solid from the get-go. So we decided we're going to take some more time. We're going to do it correctly, so everyone is happy when it comes out. We don't want to put things out, rush it out, and then it flops. So thank you. I know everyone really wants it. We want the mobile apps, but we do appreciate the patience and when the apps do come out, I think people will appreciate the quality in them. So, yeah, still looking forward to those.
And one big item that we are working to introduce from day one, if that's possible, is the mobile DApp connector, which is something that is going to be really handy for anyone that is going to be using GeroWallet and being able to connect to any platform or project that supports the CIP30 protocol and just connect their mobile wallet directly to the platform and perform any actions that platform allows.
I think we have a lot more to say, but if anybody has any questions, feel free to raise your hand or request speaker. But if not, that's fine as well.
So that concludes what let's say the public roadmap, like the information that is available on the website. But in these last 3 months, a lot of improvements of work happen behind the scenes, if that makes sense. We learned a very hard and valuable lesson with the network congestion, and we had to improve and introduce redundancy in virtually all layers of communication between the wallet and the backend system. This is something that we completed, I will say, basically at 80%. the process has been completed. For example, we have Firehose as the main submission strategy, but we also have BlockFrost as a backup. We're using we're fetching history from DBSync, but as that has problems, we're now going to switch that to BlockFrost as well. As staking and delegation also moved to BlockFrost, and we are building and introducing redundancy wherever possible, because from the experiences we have with the network congestion, relying on just one source is not sufficient when the network gets really loaded.
Yeah, there was some major events that happened in the back end. I don't know if people were involved in the Sunday Swap launch. There were several other projects launching around that time and NFT drops. And my understanding is basically, all of the all of the integrated wallets had terrible issues around that time, and all of us had to figure out solutions with congestion, and so that really derailed the roadmap. Unfortunately, something like that wasn't planned, and we're still working on putting in permanent solutions, and it's likely that as Cardano scales and we evolve, we'll probably have to figure out future solutions as well and adapt. But that took a good chunk of this quarter out, is working on that back end improvements to make sure the wall is running and dealing with congestion. I think Chris noted on that we migrated and are currently still migrating from DB-Sync. And it's kind of a hybrid solution with Firehose and BlockFrost. Go ahead, Manny.
I had a few questions. The first one was around the NFT staking. Good to hear that you guys will be able to at least even think about launching something like that with being in the US. But I was curious as to, did you guys, I know you released some kind of info on it, but I was curious if you guys were going to do like any kind of multipliers for multiple NFTs, or is it just one and done at each level?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we're actually meeting with the Canucks later today. We'll probably, we're going to brainstorm everything that we want to include, see what the limitations are with the smart contracts as well, see what we need to add, so that there may be a few things we have to add. It actually would be great to hear what you would want, or what the public would want, to make sure we don't miss out on anything, because we want to make sure that kind of plan ahead, kind of bulletproof it ahead of time with the smart contract, so we don't have to change it later. But we're finalizing that, and with the NFT staking, so I can't guarantee that we're going to do it, but I will say I'm going to try so hard to make sure that we do it. So whatever we have to do to make it happen, we're going to try. So I do foresee it going through.
Yeah, I think the community would appreciate any utility with the NFTs. I mean, if it's not staking something else, I'm sure they would people would be happy about it. But thank you for answering that question.
Absolutely, we do have additional ideas for utility. Just don't want to throw them out yet. Yeah, actually, I'll just withhold it. If anybody was in the Twitter Spaces on yesterday, actually, there was something that kind of snuck out, but we're waiting to announce it. So we want it to be a surprise, and we want all the utility to be figured out before we announce it. So ideally next month, not next month, but next quarter. But yeah, it should bring a lot more utility and excitement to the NFTs.
Okay. My other question was, you guys had mentioned a number of dexes, but was MinSwap in that list, and will you have any type of farming available as well on any of these dexes?
Yes, we're great fans of MintSwap. We're working together. We have close communications. I believe we're meeting with them later this week to finalize some plans moving forward. And yeah, we're definitely collaborating with them. And very likely liquidity will be on MinSwap as well.
Okay. And I missed the part about public testing. Was it the mobile app that you guys were looking to maybe get testers for?
That would be correct, yes, Manny.
Okay. I'm definitely interested in testing. I love playing around with apps. So I kind of did that in my last job. Did a lot of iOS mobile testing in test flight. So I'm interested in that. But thank you. That's all I had for now.
Perfect. Yeah. And we're actually looking to throw out a questionnaire survey at the end of this week to get some feedback about the wallet. And we might be able to incorporate it into the mobile wallet as well. So part of the decision in taking a little bit more time with the mobile wallets was to incorporate some research and some insights and feedback to make sure that we can even improve on the wallet for the mobile as opposed to the extension. So yeah, look out for that survey that's going to go out. It's going to be really useful to get feedback from the community. And then also later, we'll be doing the beta testing. We'll announce that as well. So probably next month. Joe, you had a question?
Yeah, just a little input on NFT staking. I mean, my view or input would be maybe do like a bonus or multiplier to the staking and do a burn mechanism for like a 30 days, however long. That's just my input on it. So, but very excited about the tidbit yesterday. I won't say it, but very excited to join that one. So.
Yeah, somebody caught it. Probably a few others, maybe too. But yeah, no, that's awesome feedback. The burn mechanic and multiplier for sure. Well, we're meeting with Connect Publishing later today, and they are the experts in NFTs. So we will certainly put that on the list, and we'll brainstorm it and see what make sure that is a potential with the smart contracts.
The other big item that we spent a lot of time on was the CIP30 protocol, or dApp connector, it is most widely known. The amount of work required to get it working 100% right was much more needed than what we originally estimated. So we did spend a good amount of perfecting the CIP30, and we're now in a good position to say and be able to support all the CIP30 functions, even the experimental ones. And of course, this now allows us and gives us the opportunity to include Gero in as many dApps projects as possible.
And we are actively reaching out to projects to kind of motivate them to integrate us if they already haven't, and vice versa. Also, there's a lot of projects that reach out to us and we collaborate on it. We also have the documentation out there for developers to integrate us really without having to interact with us. But for those listening, it is helpful if people kind of voice their kind of advocate in the project's chats and the socials too, if they don't have GeroWallet integrated. I know that we've heard, especially from Maladex, I believe they said, as long as one person requests GeroWallet, we'll do it. So I think the teams they want to hear, they want to provide what their communities want. And so if you want GeroWallet integrated and they aren't integrated, just make sure to speak up.
Or you can also let us know directly, and we can reach out to the project as well. Whatever works best.
Yep, that works too. Well, are there any more questions, thoughts, comments, anything like that? I think it would be cool if Twitter Spaces kind of had like a text chat where people didn't have to speak up, they could kind of text their thoughts. I feel like it's a lot more accessible and people, I don't know, it's just friendlier, easier. Go ahead, Manny.
You could probably dedicate someone to be like the responder, like I don't know, maybe the GeroWallet account. Like you just tweet your questions to the account and then have somebody monitor it. I think that's a kind of a way around it, the feature not being available. But I did have a question about. I know I talked about this in the last, well, not the last AMA, but one that we had before about Milcomeda. There's a lot of interesting projects that are kind of bubbling over there, and I feel like there might be a pretty big boom there. So I was curious if you guys were thinking about either wallet integrations or even having liquidity on things like wing riders. Milky Swap is a really popular one as well.
Yeah, so yeah, we definitely are highly considering Melgomeda functionality in the wallet. It's just we have other priorities right now, so we're not really able to get to it, even though if we didn't have these other priorities, we would likely do it. We are talking to other layer 2 options as well, so it's just a matter of time before we get to it and really think it over. I mean, I would like to say today we do have the functionality, but we don't, and we have other things we need to work on. So, sorry, what was the second part there? Yeah, what was the last thing you said?
Even just if outside of the wallet itself, because I do understand that there's a lot of development there, but just having the ability to have the wrapped asset officially on
Yeah.
some of these upcoming dexes. Like I think Milky Swap is probably the most engaging one to the community. They have a really bubbling Discord, and they really get Twitter going with their tweets. So I think it would probably be to the benefit of the project if we go over there and we see the GeroWallet token there. I think it would be a pretty low hanging fruit you could knock out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think we'll certainly put it a little bit higher on our radar with that feedback, and consider it a lot more. There's so much that we have to consider, and we're taking care of. But that feedback is awesome. So it's great to hear those things, and so we can it kind of helps us reevaluate and reprioritize. So I think with what you just said there, I'm gonna have a deeper look at Milky Swap. So I keep hearing about them. I haven't really personally looked into them that much. There's constantly so much going on. So, but yeah, no, I think that's great. It's something we can consider about putting liquidity up on there too. I think that's a good note that they have a large media presence, and it's like if we're putting liquidity up on some of the major dexes like MinSwap and Sunday and so on, we kind of get drowned out with the other projects. So it could be cool to do kind of a one-off one in a way. I haven't really put them on my radar too much yet. So yeah, it would be interesting, and we'll definitely consider it. We haven't considered liquidity on wing riders yet, but they did mention us today that we are integrated. We will be integrated when they go live on mainnet. So that's an exciting thing.
It's good to hear. I saw your message. I actually was live and kind of talking about it. So I did make that video. That's a static video, and then I should probably cut the live that I did and turn that into a video as well. We talked about your comments, which were really great, professional, very diplomatic. So thank you for that.
I think we should also say a big thank you to the community for taking the time to actually vote, because we wouldn't have gotten the first place if people didn't take the time to do what was necessary. And for that, thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, really, thank you. I know we've kind of requested help from the community 2 times now for voting, and one was with the Cardanian Cup, And so, you know, we had some really great competition there. Sunday Swap was one of them, but you know, the community turned out and we were able to win that. So really appreciate all the support there and the voting. And I'm honestly surprised about how many people were voting in the Discord for Wing Riders. So I think we kind of blew their mind too. I don't think they were expecting it. So, but no, thank you so much. And I would say, you know, with them being so nice to consider us for integration, as well as you know, they informed that they integrated us today. Just, you know, be sure to take part in their community, you know, check it out and continue to be vocal if you can. So I think it's important to be a large part of the community Dex, the Cardano Dex community, and you know, it's more helpful to not just vote but also be a vocal community member. So if you're interested in them, be sure, you know, to continue taking part in their Discord and their decks. I know I believe they're on testnet right now, so go check it out and give some feedback too. I think we could probably kind of wrap things up, Chris. I think we've covered a lot right now. Unless there are more questions, happy to answer questions or discuss anything else. But if not, I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah, happy to address any questions. Otherwise, we can keep it short and sweet, and we can meet again next week, same time.
Okay, sounds good. Looks like you know, no questions or comments right now. So yeah, go ahead and end it. Feel free to reach out into Telegram or Twitter. You know, if you have any comments, questions, or anything like that, of course. And yeah, we'll keep